Yes, it's dark. That's because it's 5:30 Sunday morning, and today is the first 2017 Feeder Masters qualifier at Barston Lakes. Right, we're not far away from Barston now. As you can see, we've got Wingman Martin. Gives wave, Mark. That's it. Jamie Wild commented that you never wave or say hello or anything, but that's for you, that, Jamie. Right, I've got a good feeling on today's match, so I don't normally do this, so we don't know what the pegging's going to be, but obviously I fished this match last year, so we can only kind of speculate on what the pegging's going to be. With 3 sections of 20, there's really only one real way that you can peg this, so based on last year, I'm just going to give a quick rundown on the competition. For those that don't know, this is the first qualifier of the year. It's a 60 peg match, 3 sections of 20, and it's actually winners of the 20 peg zones that go through to the final at Bow Beach. And so that means obviously there's going to be 3 qualifiers that go through. A lot of you know Barston. I like to think I know Barston, but like I was saying to Martin, we've just been talking about it on the way down, that it's amazing how many times you can come down here, no matter how many times you come down, that every time you come it seems to be different, and there are different areas that you have to tackle in a slightly different way. So just based on last year's kind of match, I'm just going to give a quick rundown on what I think today. I'm going to stick my neck out, might look a tip, but I don't usually do this, so that's why I'm doing it. So the first zone last year was from about peg 4 or 6 going up to about peg 35 to 40. A lot of you know, I mean, in that area, I've got to openly admit, I'd fancy going to be opposite the bridge.
Definitely.
Somewhere around the bridge, probably peg 4, 6.
Round green, anywhere around green.
There's a green there where obviously the golfers go to, so, and there's a footbridge, and I know Gaz Lambert was second in the Barston Masters qualifier last week from about peg, was he 6? 6 or 8. You've got to have some long range kit there to tackle those pegs properly, but and obviously we've got that with us. But so yeah, I fancy somewhere there, 4, 6, possibly 8, and then after that I wouldn't want to be on the point of the green. You're then looking at probably peg, is it 12, 14?
14, 16 up to 20.
14, 16 up to 20 in the teens. That's where you've got a big, massive open water basically, and you always kind of feel like there are a few fish there, especially at range. So I wouldn't mind being there today, I've got to admit that. And then after that, they're probably the only 2 areas in that first zone. The second zone, based on last year, was about peg early 40s. And because that's a split, you then got last year I think there was 3 or 4 pegs on the back bank, the other side of the wires, and then there was a few pegs on the other bank where the grass is around peg 80. So that's kind of a 3 bank zone, assuming it's going to be pegged like that. Little bit iffy that section, but having said that, that zone, if I remember, John Driscoll won that zone last year, who, as you know, went on to win the final. I think he was in the early 40s, which is not normally an area that you'd fancy to be in to compete with the rest of those pegs. But I know John just fished a nice chop worm match, if I remember rightly. It might have even been herring worm, and he just beat, I think Rob Walton was second in that section, that zone, and he, to qualify for that final. But so that area, I mean, you've got to fancy around the 50s, haven't you? 50s,
yeah, 54 up to 54, 50 to
54, somewhere around that area, on that point. They've been fishing well all year round. I fancy being there. I wouldn't really fancy being on that back bank, the other side of the wires. But I think on peg 81, 82, on that little bit of grass, the grassy knoll, as some people call it, if that's it, that can sometimes produce as well. And I wouldn't really want to be to the right of that, going up towards the 90s. I just don't think those pegs can compete in that zone. And then the final zone.
1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2.
We don't know how far that's going to go back. For a lot of people, you obviously know 1, 2, 4 is the end peg, and it's won more matches on here than anything, so you'd have to fancy that peg. 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 2, they usually don't miss any pegs out there. They usually keep those 3 pegs in because they are quite productive, and they're the only pegs I really want to be in that zone. I've got to openly admit, I don't think you can compete going back towards the 90s. So that's it, we stuck his neck out a little bit. If we draw any of those, you can just continue doing what you've been doing all week and call me draw bag anyway. Martin only gets end pegs at Larford, so he's a Lawford end peg specialist, so anything could happen here for him. But Martin won his section last week. down here at Barston, the Barston Masters. You'd already qualified anyway, as a lot of you have seen in the video from last month. We qualified here on peg 33 on the point of the island, which it looks fantastic, absolute fantastic, but it never really produces much. But Martin won his section, 4th in the match with, what was your weight? £58.8. So it just shows that every now and then some pegs that we don't consider to be very favourable can produce. But at the end of the day, it's not about winning the match today, it's all about winning the 20 pegs. And as you can imagine, 20 pegs, certainly on a venue like this, covers a wide range of pegs, and we can't really tell you how we're going to fish it, because every area is different, so only that could be decided once we've drawn. So that's it. We're going to get some breakfast. We're having breakfast down here at Barston today. It's likely to be a who's who of angling, and we hope it is. That's why we fish these sorts of matches. And yeah, it's all about getting one of those qualifying positions. Martin's only got one ticket for this competition, and that's thanks to Alan Sutton. Thank you, Alan. Alan had double books, so thanks to him, Martin's ended up with a ticket. So Martin might only need one ticket, you never know. Let's hope so anyway, as long as he's not in my zone, that's the main thing. Yeah, so we're going to get some breakfast, and we'll see you at the draw bag, where hopefully we're both going to have a peg in his hand that's going to give us a chance of winning those 20 pegs. As you've just seen, I've drawn peg 98. I can't lie, I'm incredibly disappointed that it's the one zone that I said earlier I didn't really want to be in, because you're up against 124, 123, 122, and chances are, they could easily win the match, never mind the zone. So I've come here with an approach to just tackle every peg, every eventuality, and I've got to be honest, I'm really disappointed now, because I think we're going to be. It's going to be a big ask. Yeah, I think it's going to be a big ask to compete with 124, 123. I don't really know what I'm going to do at the minute. I don't just want to come here and fish for my 10 pegs, 10 peg section money. So I'm just going to get to the peg, and I think I am going to have a skimmer approach just in case it fishes hard. But there's nothing else you can do. You can only fish the peg that I've drawn. Martin's drawn in the 50s, he quite fancies that. Other than that, I'm not sure where most other people have drawn, so I'm going to get the kit out, get my head right, and get some kit set up. Right, peg 98, as you know, and I've been joined by...
Hello.
That's Mark, everyone knows Mark. How many hours did it took you to get here from Bow Beach?
2.5.
2.5 hours, okay. He's got a shorter drive if he gets in that final. And look who else is here.
Morning.
Gav. Remember Gav last week? On day one, he was on my left at the Southfield Festival. What do we reckon, lads?
Not a lot.
Gav's drawn 35. Gav's 35.
Bang in the middle of the island.
Bang in the middle of the island, way over there. And because he's got an hour to kill, he's come over to say hello, so that's brilliant. What do you reckon? Do you fancy it?
A few bites, I'll be happy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Alright, it's a tough section that. You're in with that first section, so you're kind... Or are you? No, you could be...
35, yeah, second one I think.
You're in the second zone, so you're competing with the lads in the 50s and stuff.
Yeah.
And what you drawn, Mark?
113.
113. Gav's in my zone, so he's down that way. That's my peg. I haven't shown you that yet, but Gav's down that way. Sorry, Mark's down that way, so we're all in that zone competing with the end pegs. But there we go. Down to my left, down here, we've got who's down here, Mark? Jeff Allens.
You've got Jeff Allens, Phil Ringer.
Phil Ringer, all down here. It's not really a favoured area, even though they're favoured anglers. It's not a favoured area. What else we got? We've got Glenn Lawrence, way over on the back bank in the 70s. Is that 73 somewhere over there? I think Gary Lambert's over there as well. My wingman Martin's on 53 over in the deep water over there, and that's it. We don't know nothing, do we?
Not a lot.
We're hoping fish have they're going to swim against form, aren't we? I think today.
Yeah,
judging by where we've
I think so. I mean, you have to say I'm in the better looking area because I've got Adam Rooney next to me, Joe Carras down there. So
that's a pretty section.
Yeah,
That's the youth section.
I'm off to go have a look.
That's why you're over on that bank, Gav. That's what that is.
Head knocker again.
Yeah, and I'm crashing the party. So yeah, I'll go through my tactics and what our plan on approaching it. Got Gaz Lambert at the next peg as well, so I know he's been chopping worms up frantically. So we'll see how that pans out. But yeah, I'll go through the kit in a bit, and we're just gonna have a walk down and see everyone down there. Right, it's only 5 minutes before the off, so a quick rundown of the kit. 3 rods set up. I've got a Legend 3.3 meters. That's going to be fished at 20 meters with a cage feeder if I need that. I've then got a Carp Master 10-foot setup, 4,000 reels on both with 6-pound Carp Master mainline. The 10-foot Carp Master is for a method that I can use to cast on that same 20 meter line, just to see if that presentation is better than a cage feeder. I think I'm going to need that for a few fish today, but ideally we're going to need a minimum of 40 pound. I mean, this section I've just been told didn't actually fish very well last year. 30 pound won this section, which I didn't realise. And obviously this time of year you quite fancy that even with a steady approach that you can get that sort of weight from a lot of these pegs anyway in this section. So I'm going to cast for a carp or an F1 early on. So I've got that set up with the S-Class 3.6 meters, 5,000 Aquas reel, 6-pound Carp Master, and I'm going to start off with a method feeder, and that's at 45 meters. The reason I've gone to that range, you probably can't get an idea of distance or range on here. 45 meters is quite short of halfway. The reason why I've done that is just so that if I do catch any fish and I want to chase them out, then obviously that gives me extra space to do that. So I'm going to kick off on that, just have a good look round, see what's happening around me, and then make decisions from there. I'm going to feed the 20 meter line quite positive. The reason for that is because I don't think, it's not like winter when I fished here and done well. I'm not really after 20 pound. I think I'm after a lot more than that, probably 40 pound I think. So I'm going to feed it quite confidently. It's a little bit shallow on this section here, so that's why I've gone to 20 meters instead of 15. And as you can see, we've got the wind off his back as well, so that's why I've just gone to 20 meters. But that's it, just see what happens after the first hour and take it from there. No, we're just over an hour in and it's a bit of a struggle to be fair, but Gaz Lambert on my right, I think he's had two small, well, half decent F1s on his method line long. He's just gone on his cage line now. I know he's chopped a lot of worm, I don't know if he's actually fed it, but he's gone on that. He's just had a small skimmer. We've heard the catching 1 or 2 carp and F1's down to his right, but he says it's slowed up now. On my left, there's not a lot happening at all. I mean, down this section here, they're all struggling really. I've had a nightmare. I've lost 2 fish. I can't believe it. Just do not lose fish. I've lost 2. One was an F1 that I pulled out of, as you probably saw, and then I've lost a bream close to the net. I don't know why, but I've changed the hook anyway. It was a nice big hook, and I don't know why. Maybe they're not taking it properly. I don't know, but I've now got 2 bream and 1 big F1. So I'm certainly in there with this bit here, but I don't know what's sounding at the bottom end. I'm going to give this short cage line a bit longer to settle, because running fish, you know, if I'm going to be catching fish on there, I won't really want them to have settled in numbers, so I'll stick on the method a bit longer. Oh, we've got an hour and a half to go. Lenses are a little bit scruffy. We've had rain and all sorts. Not much footage, to be honest. I've had a little run of skimmers on a short line. We've just heard, we think Adam Rooney's winning this zone. We've heard he's got 15 F1s, so you know we've heard he's best opposite the island. The other pegs of the 120s are struggling a little bit. We've heard. We've also heard Jeff Ringer's doing really well with 15 pound, which is a lot less than what we thought we'd need. I don't know what I've got. I might 20 pound. There's an hour and a half to go. I've gone short. I've changed my feeding a little bit. Gaz is about the same as me. He's had a good run of fish, but it's gone quiet on him now. And to my left, they've not really caught either. So sounds like we're not too far away. Near a good last hour and a half. I think the short line might get better, but I'm not sure. But I'm going to stick with it a bit longer, and hopefully, if they do catch on it, they're going to be good fish. Well done, Gaz. I know, mate. Just turn up too late. Well, that's it. Hold on. What a terrible. Get that, baby. Gaz is the one on the left. That last hour, I've just everything's died, and I've just kind of made a decision to try and push the peg and fish for carp or whatever. It's just not happened at all. But in that hour, Gaz has had. How many had in that last hour? 7, 8?
6 bream and a 2 pounder.
6 bream and a 2 pounder in that last hour. That's really got him up there now. We don't know if Adam's had any more down there. If he hasn't, then that puts Gaz in a right position. But that's only what we know. We don't really know anything else. So, yeah. What can we say about that? Not a lot, really. No. Top job though, mate. Top job. We've not really heard much else about rest of the lake, so.
Uploader's got 2 carps and then something. So
right.
Sims has got 30 pounder, but in the skimmers, Mick Rowley's 30. All pegs away.
Right.
Mick Rowley's catched.
It sounds like they've all caught down there, you know, in that second half. So maybe we didn't have a chance here. I don't know. We're going to find out though, aren't we? Poor. £26.4 I think it was. Yeah, it's gone wrong. see what Gaz has got. I bet Gaz has got, he's got 35, maybe 40. Right, well I'm going to do this while I'm still wound up. Gaz has had a brilliant last hour. Well done Gaz, mate. I know you'll be watching. I can't tell everybody exactly what he's done in that last hour because we've got team matches coming up on here and one or two things, but he's had a brilliant hour. He's had 8 bream in that last hour and it's just catapulted him right up that section. He's finished up with £46. He's done brilliant, you know, and I'm really kicking myself, really. I mean, I'll not bang on about it, but I've lost my way a little bit. I've pushed the peg, and I pushed it in the wrong way, and it's completely killed it. It's just killed it stone dead. And I've done it on that short line, and that's the line that could come strong in that last hour. So when Gareth has had a run of fish that last hour on his short line, I'm not saying I would have caught any, but I'd already killed that line, and that's obviously the wrong time to do it. So, stupid mistake. I've gone chasing carp the last hour and a half or whatever, just because we thought we were chasing Adam Rooney, and as it turns out the weights up there weren't quite as much as what we thought. The section's been won on peg 124 with £49, which is not a mega weight, certainly capable. Gaz has had 46 there, so there were enough skimmers and bream in that area to do it, and you know, the way that I fish on here, you know, why should I think that that wasn't achievable? So I'm counting that as a chance. That was definitely a draw where I could have qualified, but hey ho, there you go. I'm just going to go pick Martin up now. He's been on peg 53. I don't really know how it's fished, so I'll pick him up, and we think Waco's got the top weight. We think he's had about £70 over on the grassy knoll, in the 80s, 82, 83, whatever peg it was. But let's go and find out.